All right. So, my name is Reginald Kuakaru. I'm the founder of Comedic Centered Living, and I help those that have left Christianity remove negative Christian programming so that they can live life boldly, authentically, unapologetically, and on their terms without guilt and shame. Okay. And, you know, I wanted to address this topic tonight too, guys, because I know a lot of people that they feel like when they are woke or when they finally wake up to what Christianity has been, you know, on some level, that at that point it's like, oh, you know, I've arrived. Okay. And I want to say that that essentially is the first awakening. Okay. Because when you're talking about you're practicing these ideas and you're practicing, you know, and understanding the significance of your Christ or becoming a Christ, you'll understand that your awakening, you have multiple awakenings. Okay. You can have different awakenings in different aspects of your life. Okay. So you don't just come to this realization and then you've arrived and everything is okay. No, because once you come to that realization, there's going to be a lot of other things that are going to start happening in your life. You know, there's going to be things like maybe your family find out that you don't believe anymore. Well, you're going to have to deal with your Christian family at that point, you know, and you're going to have some hardships with that. I can tell you, anybody that has done this, that has a family, that deals with family, you're going to go through some stuff. And at first you might be going through that stage of the anger. You know, you're mad because you're feeling like you were duped and you want to go and, you know, beat everybody over the head with this knowledge and information. You're going to create some tension. It happens. I will advise, because I've been through that, I've dealt with it, I would advise you, don't do it. Okay. Just from my own experience, it does not work. It is not going to be helpful. Okay. So that's what I would say. But one of these things that we don't always recognize when we do the awakening is that we still hold on to a lot of the Christian programming. Okay. And I say, and I know that I've said before that a lot of times people will leave Christianity and bring everything that they were in Christianity to what they think is comedic spirituality. And they're doing nothing but being religious. You know, all they did was just switched a few little words, but they haven't changed anything about themselves, you know? And that's the thing that you have to understand, is that programming does not just go away overnight.
Hey family, are you feeling stuck, ready for a change? Kickstart your journey with my personalized 3-month coaching program, Unapologetically You. We'll create a tailored game plan to reach your goals using rich knowledge of comedic science of the soul and metaphysical teachings. This isn't just another coaching program. It's an investment in you. I provide focused coaching and accountability to help you unlock your potential. Due to the personalized nature of my approach, I only take on a few clients at a time, ensuring each person receives my full attention. Together, we'll unleash your authentic self, freeing you from fear of judgment and societal expectations. Regardless of your race, sexual orientation, or previous religion, my unique approach facilitates rapid, lasting change. Ready to live life on your terms boldly, authentically, and unapologetically you? Visit my website at workwithreginaldmartin.com for a free life-changing video. It will shift your mindset from limiting beliefs and lay a foundation for tapping into your soul's experience. Share a bit about yourself and secure a spot on my calendar for a free exploratory session to develop your personalized game plan. I can't wait to hear from you.
So one of those is that we're going to talk about tonight is the idea of dealing with the guilt and shame from Christianity and how it might affect you. Okay. So first step is we got to understand what guilt is. Okay. And guilt is generally about something that you've done. Okay. Something about feeling that you've done something wrong. Okay. Your behavior. okay, it is wrong, okay? So some of those symptoms of feeling guilt and some of the most negatives are to evaluate to evaluate yourself negatively. So anyone that has ever been Christian, okay, and Miss M gave $5. Thank you, Miss M. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate it. So anyone that has ever been Christian is familiar with the negative mantras like, I'm unworthy, you know, oh, I'm nothing without God, you know, oh, I'm a wretch, you know, that's just me, I'm a wretch, you know. These are nothing but negative affirmations, okay? So all these things are kind of tied into the feelings of guilt, okay? Now, on the other hand, shame refers to something about yourself as a person, or your character is something unacceptable, okay? So when who you are as a person and who you believe yourself to be is unacceptable, that's what shame is about, okay? So it's feeling ashamed of who you are as a person, okay? Or just feeling inappropriate to life, maybe, okay? So what are some of the feelings of shame that you might go through? And this is just a few, guys. So there's a whole laundry list of stuff that people deal with, but these are what I think might be some of the major ones. So feeling used, or feeling sensitive about stuff, feeling unappreciated, feeling rejected, okay? Being worried about what others might think about you, worrying that you aren't treated with respect, feeling like others take advantage of you, not sharing your thoughts or feelings because you're afraid and embarrassed to do so, okay? You're afraid and embarrassed to do so because, well, now, you know, a smart person wouldn't have a question like that, you know, or, you know, well, I don't want to divulge that I've been through this because, man, people are going to look at me funny, you know? So those kind of things. So those are just a few of the symptoms of shame that you deal with as you're going through unlearning these Christian ideas, or you might still be dealing with those Christian ideas, okay? So, but what you deal with in Christianity is called a guilt complex, all right? So a guilt complex refers to a persistent belief that you've done something wrong or that you will do something wrong, okay? Which puts people into just being anxious all the time. I mean, it's like you can't even freaking enjoy life because you might enjoy it too much and you might sin, okay? Not that you have done anything wrong, but just that the possibility is that you're going to do something wrong. And there's even the possibility if you're having too much fun, that's wrong, okay? So anybody that has ever been through Christianity understands those feelings. Anybody who's truly tried to live the Christian way understands that feeling of just that anxiety of just feeling like, you know, something ain't right, or I'm not doing something right, you know, whatever it might be, okay? So that's it. So when you accept the Christian doctrines of original sin and total depravity, now most of us have heard of original sin, but we might not have heard of the idea of total depravity. But those two doctrines are closely intertwined, and I'll go over those, but they'll automatically plunge you into states of feeling guilty or shameful, okay? So here's the doctrine of original sin, okay? And this is from www.theopedia.com/original/sin or -sin, okay? So if you want to look this up. So the doctrine of original sin states that the doctrine that the human nature is morally and ethically corrupt. Now listen to this. Human nature is morally and ethically corrupt, okay? And it's corrupt because of the disobedience of humanity's first parents. Who were the first parents? Adam and Eve, okay? This is closely tied to the idea of the fall of man. In other words, Eve supposedly gave Adam some fruit and Adam ate it, and that was the sin because now they've eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Only in Christianity is where stupidity is put up on a pedestal as a higher level of spirituality. The more stupid you are, the more faith you have, the higher level of your spirituality. In other words, just put on blinders and accept what we told you. Okay, that's where this idea comes from original sin. Okay, total depravity is another one that's closely tied to it, and it's closely connected to original sin. And it states that because mankind's parents sinned, that all of their descendants, think about this, because your parents sinned, everybody else born into the world is morally corrupt, enslaved to sin, and apart from the grace of God with an inability to turn to Christ in faith. In other words, let's put this, using this as an analogy. Let's say your mother and father committed a crime before you were born. Okay? Somehow you got born, okay, from 3 sons. 3 sons populated the earth. Okay, no women around, mind you, but 3 sons. Okay, but that's another topic. That's another topic. Okay, but somehow you were born, and as soon as you're born, you're going to go to jail for the crime that your parents committed. Is that logical? Is there anything logical about that? Are we more compassionate than God? God would make all of us sinners at birth? How logical is that? It's crazy. It's anyway, like I said. So in other words, that's total depravity. So both of them basically say that you're a sinner from birth and you're morally corrupt, just automatically out of the box. Okay. So that means that anything you do moving forward, you have to put in the context of your morally corrupt nature. Okay. You already out the box have to look at yourself as something defiled and something wrong. Okay. Automatically. Okay. Automatically, that puts you in the context of being ashamed of who you are. And then anything that you do that might have been not the best behavior, you automatically say, oh, yeah, well, that's because of my morally corrupt human nature. Okay. You already put yourself in a context, in a negative context of being. Okay. It's not cool. It's not good. Okay. So with the doctrines of original, anything sinful, a guilt complex will make you think because of your nature, you will most likely do something sinful. It's a vicious circle and a vicious cycle, okay, that we all live through, or if you've been Christian, that you live through, okay? Because of the guilt complex, you simply feel negative about what you do or might do, which brings on the feelings of shame about who you are. Guilt and shame are intertwined in this way, okay? If you were Christian and accepted these beliefs for any amount of time, you probably are walking around with a guilt complex and don't even realize it, okay? For example, with the guilt complex, you can have a sexual thought about a person and immediately feel guilty about it. In other words, you can have a fantasy about being with somebody sexually, okay? Now, immediately when you have that, it says because you're, as a Christian, you're not supposed to have sexual thoughts, okay? You're human, but you're not supposed to have, that's wrong. And when you have these sexual and dirty thoughts, you're a bad person, which of course makes you feel bad, okay? Because in the context of Christianity, the thought is the same as doing the deed. Okay? You've already sinned just by thinking it. Like, damn, I mean, you can't even escape that. Okay? So if you constantly feel some kind of negative way about yourself, you will lower your expectations, okay, about anything in your life. Shannon Canzelia, thank you. Gave $10. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So another example is to say, let's just say you're having trouble paying your bills, okay? And you need to find a way out of this hole that you're in. You had a thought about starting a business before because you wanted to make some more money, okay? That you might have even wanted to get rich. But deep down, you feel it's wrong to covet having more, okay? You don't want to, you feel conflicted because you need more money, but you're not supposed to want more because, as the Bible says, it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich man or woman to get into heaven. Okay. Tanika Adams gave $4.99, says this information is priceless. Thank you, Tanika. I appreciate that feedback. Thank you very much. Says, so anytime that you think about wanting more, you're automatically put into a conflict because wanting more means that you're trying to get more, trying to have more, and to covet worldly things is a sin. It's not cool. Okay? You're not supposed to want to be abundant. No matter that the preacher and everybody else is driving around in their Mercedes and Cadillacs. Back in my day, it was Cadillacs, you know. That was a long day. Okay, a long time ago. But anyway, but you're not supposed to want to be rich and abundant. Why the hell not? Okay? Because you're taught that you should not be. But that's not what the universe is about. So what you may not realize is that you find more comfort in struggling to pay your bills than finding new ways to make money. And it keeps you having a broke mentality. In both these cases, you feel guilty, and I'm talking about the sex case and the money case. You feel guilty for even having thoughts of sex or wanting more money. Why? Because as a Christian, a thought is the same as the deed, as I had said earlier. See, Judy Smith Randall gave $2.22. Thank you, sister. Says, yes, this info is awesome. Thank you, Teach. Thank you for that feedback, Judy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So are you guys grasping the programming here? Are you understanding this underlying programming? All right. Crystal Turner gave $19.99. Thank you very much, Crystal. Says, so what many brothers and sisters still do is when it comes to reconciling their conflicts about money, is they begin to push forward with the idea that being broke is somehow more spiritual. Okay. They look down their noses at people who make money. All right. As something is wrong, morally wrong with people who are well off. Okay. In other words, if you're rich, you probably had to do something wrong in order to get the money. But being broke, you probably you're just living right because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Think about it. Okay. Now, you cannot think in broke ways. Okay. And this goes back to a principle that I've talked about, priming the pump by thinking lack and then expect wealth. Because when you're thinking in broke ways, you are literally priming the pump for lack. Okay? I've talked about this principle of priming the pump before. what you're doing is priming the pump for the universe to send you broke experiences and lack when you think about it being something of a higher level of spirituality to be broke. Or you think it's wrong to be well off. Okay? So to live in fear of maybe getting evicted is supposedly some higher level of spirituality. So you don't even try to like make more money, okay? Or you have a self-esteem issue from beating yourself down about thinking, I am a wretch. I am nothing without God. I can do nothing without God, that you don't even try to make more money. You don't even think that the idea to start a business, that you have a good idea because, hell, you thought about it. And because you thought about it, surely somebody else must have thought about it. And if they thought about it and they didn't do it, then obviously it's not a good idea. So forget it. Y'all understand the logic that I'm going through here? How all these feelings of beating you down and feeling guilty, or feeling like, you know, you're not supposed to have, how it all kind of ties in. It's just different layers. I call it, it's like being like an onion. There are just so many layers that are tied to these beliefs that we don't even think about it. And we think once we say that we're not Christian anymore, that boom, we're awake and all of the other shit goes away. It doesn't. I promise you it doesn't. Okay? I know from experience that it doesn't. Ruben gave $20. Thank you, Brother Ruben. I appreciate it. So my family's always coming through, man. Always coming through. Appreciate you guys so much. So these beliefs do not simply just remove themselves. You don't just wake up one day and you're over it. It doesn't happen that way. So here's what you have to do, just a couple of steps that you have to do to get rid of these ideas, okay? First, it takes becoming aware of the beliefs and then how they affect you on a daily basis. So that's what I'm giving you here tonight. I'm making you aware that you have to pay attention to what you believe, okay? There are most likely many layers, and I talked about this being an onion. There are most likely many layers you'll have to discover to change your vibration to abundance. And that's really what I'm talking about, is you're literally changing your thinking, and your beliefs will change your vibration, because that is a way of being. At essence, I'm talking about your vibration, okay? Then you must begin the work of reorienting your thinking to a different paradigm in order to change your vibration. You must have a different framework, okay? And a different way, because Christianity is a framework in which you put the context of all your beliefs and all your thoughts. Just like a picture frame does for a picture, it focuses you on what's in the frame. Okay?
This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix.
And that's what Christianity is. That's what any belief system is. It's a framework. And it focuses your beliefs into a certain way of being and a certain way of thinking. And I said before, Christianity and Kemetic spirituality are both ways of life. But tell me, does living in fear, does feeling guilt and shame about who you are as a human being, does that improve your life in any way? Because that's what you deal with every day through living the Christian lifestyle. From experience, I'm talking about here, guys. I know what that feeling is like, okay? So where Christianity is definitely a way of life, Kemetic spirituality improves your life, okay? Because it gives you a framework where everything works synergistically and works together. Whereas in Christianity, you're in constant conflict about something, about being human, about being spiritual. It automatically puts you at odds about being human with spirituality, okay? Automatically, all right? So why is this important? Because the way you think is what's being broadcast to the universe and being reflected back to you as your life of guilt and lack, okay? You thought just because you awoke that you're over Christianity, but you're not. I promise you.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth.
Stop. Let me out. Let me out. I want out.
But the truth is that you will carry the indoctrination within you for many years. And again, I know this from experience. The money issues, especially for well, I'll say especially for a man because I am that. The money issues for men, dude, it ties around dating. The lack of money will tie around love, because for the average person, and I know I felt like this myself, is that without money, I could have no love. No woman is going to love somebody that's broke. And ladies, please understand, I'm not putting anyone in the context of being a gold digger. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that for a man, his manhood is tied to his ability to provide. And if he's not the breadwinner, then he's really not much of a man. Okay? So that's another layer. Can a man even go on a date and leave his checkbook or leave his wallet at home? Okay? No. Okay? So if you're a man and you're broke, then that's another layer that's added on top of this. And you're struggling with that. Okay? You want to do better, but you're struggling with these ideas. Okay? Michael Peaks gave $20. Thank you, brother. He says, that shit takes time. I call it spiriligion. Still find myself there from time to time, and recognition of it is key. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. It's definitely a key. Okay? So you may not even tie the concepts of guilt and shame to why you struggle financially, or why you can't get moving on your goal of starting your own business or getting a new job to make more money. Okay? When you believe you're a sinner and unworthy of having good in your life, it impacts everything you think about that could make your life better. Most of us that have been Christian believe expressing being unworthy is about being humble. That's crap. Putting yourself down is not being humble. And the reason why Christianity is taught that is because they taught that pride was one of the 7 deadly sins. Okay? Now, this is not biblical, but what they were teaching is that if you felt prideful, then that means that you wouldn't need God. Okay? Well, you might not need that God out there. But from a Kemetic perspective, you are God in human form, or you are a God in training in human form. Okay? You're not trying to please some God out there. You're trying to realize the highest vision of yourself as God in human form. Okay? That's the difference. Now, in reality, the guilt undercuts your self-confidence and sends a signal to the universe to reflect your being unworthy to have abundance or a good mate for a relationship and any other area of your life. So if you're effectively programmed to think negative and therefore reap negative in your life, okay, that's what happens when you accept these guilt trips, okay, that Christianity puts on you. All right. So let me make this clear, okay, and succinct. Guilt is about wrong actions, okay? You doing something wrong or possibly doing something wrong. Excuse me. While shame is being a feeling that you're wrong as a person, as a human being. So guilt is about your actions and shame is about your being, okay? About who you are. The doctrines of original sin affect your whole being on many different levels because they immediately hand you guilt without the ability to reconcile it. It's anti-human, okay? Holding on to the guilt about being abundant and having the ability to enjoy your life will put you at odds with achieving it. Unless you examine why you believe what you believe, you will be stuck because you have no way to get out of a thought process that keeps you trapped. You have to be able to examine why you believe what you believe. Okay? That's a higher level of thinking, guys. Okay? When you're able to step back and examine why you believe something, when you do that, it'll move you to a whole nother track. Okay? You're able to look at yourself in a different way. Okay? And I teach those techniques in the African Mind Rewire. So we talk about that. So comedic spirituality is designed to help you create your life on terms without guilt or shame. Okay? Create your life on your terms. You can gain the tools to examine your mind and the processes to manifest your life that you want through my class, the African Mind Rewire. You can click on the link in the chat box and get more information and sign up. Okay, if you think this is something for you. It's not for everybody, okay? And I get that. This is not for everybody. If you try to sign up later and the class is not open at that time, you can always add yourself through your email to the waiting list, okay? Now, if you have questions about the topic, comedic spirituality or metaphysics, you can ask them now. If I know the answer, I'll help you as best as I can. If I don't know the answer, I'll say I don't know, okay? So that's it. So guilt and shame. So how can you get over the ideas of dealing with guilt and shame, okay?